Oh yeah, and I'm doing stuff.
Yeah. If you guys want to talk about the land rush
Explanations
stuff,
of why I've gone missing. The reports of my premature death.
I'm pretty sure why you've gone missing is because you can't get Google Hangouts to work, so we can't see you.
Oh yeah, that's why I'm dead.
Maybe the more recent.
I'm a zombie. Should we remind them that the stream really hasn't started, that they're imagining things right now?
Yep.
So that should the stream actually be starting, they would have been alerted where to go, which family members to take with them. Remember to leave your belongings in the plane. Just take you and your loved ones with you. What, you're spoiling? You're doing a spoiler. What are you doing?
Testing the video streams.
What? You're spoiling. There's just so much spoiler.
No, there's like 2 seconds there. Hey, Lancel, thank you very much.
Just absolute spoilers. Well, that's okay, because the stream hasn't actually started.
And I've determined that I am allergic to video streams, by the way, because every time it's time for me to do a video stream, I start having bad allergy problems. The rest of the time, I'm perfectly fine. Okay.
Pro streamers.
Not perfectly fine, but
I think what we're known as are pro streamers. No, it's good. But I miss being on the streams. It's been awful. I've been doing a lot of crying in the shower, missing the team and missing being on the streams. It's been so sad.
Yeah, you'll have to let them know that when we go live.
Oh yes.
Yeah.
When we actually go, when the stream actually starts.
Right.
So. Oh, Sean Butts asks who's the new bald guy. Oh, I'm Star Long. That's who I am. I've been making video games a long time. I'm gonna uncheck this blur black. I don't think anything. No, I better leave it. Yeah, I've been doing all sorts of cool stuff. I'm gonna be able to talk about 2 of the things that I've been working on, and we're gonna show them off. A little sneak peeks of 2 of them. But there's 2 other things I can't talk about. So I'm still gonna leave everyone mysteriously confused and curious. Bodacious 88 suggests that we need Dark Star's tears as a item. So, Chris, you need to make that an artifact.
Could be an offhand
potions
item that affects chaos magic.
We just got raided.
And thank you, iStar Strider, for the resub, and Skeggy Media for the raid, and Skeggy Media for the resub, and Fizzle for the raid, and Ultima Online for the follow. Thank you. Your tier should be a consumable potion that makes you louder and improves your bard skills, because you can't stop talking, just like you just keep talking fast. Always talking.
Oh, yeah.
And yelling at people really loud.
Yeah, I'm a talker, and then I have the projection from the diaphragm from my years in theater.
Give them the secret phrase.
Yeah. Secret phrase.
Oh yeah, secret phrase. Love makes the world go round.
No longer a secret.
Spam for that. Let me type that in.
Love make the world go round. Oh, that is so sweet. That is so lovely.
Snugsy one, the Bard stuff. I'll show off a little bit of that later, assuming my QA client's patched by then. But yeah, there's a few things with it. I know that the instruments, I know the specialization doesn't do anything yet. It will. Don't worry. But I think it's what I had was good enough that you get the vibe of it. That it's pretty much you're always going to be, and of course there's VFX, and I'm going to get some sound effects in there. I'm actually getting it so it'll play your instrument if you don't, depending on how things are going. And but it's a very different. That was the thing I want to do is I want to make sure it didn't feel like it's another combat tree, it's another magic tree. I want to make sure it felt different. So for those who haven't been to QA and try it, which is 99.9% of you, probably everybody but Snugs, you pretty much spend the entire time casting. The cast times on things are long, so basically you're doing the casting the whole time. Casting, the starting the spells, but I gotta save stuff to talk about later though. I'll wait until then.
Yeah, I was gonna say you're gonna repeat all of this during the actual live stream that starts in 8 minutes, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So you're just practicing. You were doing your lines. You were running your lines, like every great actor does.
Patching on that one.
Yes.
Patching on that one. Which one will finish first?
Yeah. I like. Is it a race?
Oh, this one's going fast because it's QA, but that's. Is my QA GM? Did I run the wrong one? Oh, okay. Sorry, I got it. Never mind. I was like, why are these not patched? I patched earlier. I clicked the wrong one. I ran the non-GM version. Yeah, right there. The stream has improved dramatically. I'm not sure what makes it feel better, but something about it is way better. If only there was some other way I could improve things. There we go. Now.
Yeah, that's way better. Yeah. Much better. That's the best. Wait, you need one more.
No, I'm good.
You need 4 total. 'Cause then it would be perfect.
But anyways, yeah, I'll talk lots about the Bard stuff. I got stuff to talk about it, and I had to do major overhaul on it this morning. Why is allergy attacking me now? Go away, allergies. I'll be right back. I'm going to go take some Mucinex. Because I don't have enough mucilage.
Thanks for sharing. I'm sure everyone wanted to know that. That is really. Everyone likes to know the status of Chris's mucus. Is a great. That's what you tune in for in the fabulous pre-show. To know status of Chris's mucus. Fabulous. This is quality streaming right here, folks. Only here with Shroud of the Avatar do you get this kind of quality streaming of that kind of allergy status and an empty camera for a moment. But this is the pre-stream, so yeah, we could do it. Anything goes during the pre-stream. Like we don't have to be any kind of pros at all. So we can do whatever. So thank you everyone for the well wishes, wishing me back. It's the rumors of my death, of course, were greatly exaggerated. Still alive. Wait, what was that?
That's our daily check as we go to the tadpole tank. We have a 10-gallon tank that was full of tadpoles, and we check to see which have turned into frogs. And then we take the frogs and we move them to a terrarium tank that I built for Maxine that is now covered in mold.
He's not a full frog.
He is not a full frog, are you sure?
Yeah, he still has a little bit of tail.
Just a little bit of tail. Okay, maybe tomorrow he'll be a frog. But we're not allowed to move the frogs until they are 100% frog. And then we take them and move them to the frog tank in Maxine's room, which she says she's going to keep forever. But we happen to know that these are leopard frogs, giant leopard frogs. So they get like 5 inches long, their body, not like stretched out their legs, but their bodies get like big enough to take up your whole hand. And they have a screech like their call. Their frog call is like 110 decibels.
Oh, nice.
So once they start, so she can keep them right up until then, and then they're going out somewhere
far
away.
Yeah, and don't they sing at night?
Yes.
Yeah, so that'll be awesome. Yeah.
The other thing I found is there's some frogs you can keep, and you can like feed them like these little buggy snacks and these other like little frog food pellets and stuff like that. These frogs only respond to movement, which means they won't eat pellets. They won't eat that stuff. They will only eat live food.
Nice.
So I've been having to go and buy live crickets for the froggies.
Well, and luckily crickets don't make noise either.
Oh, well, fortunately, these are the
Right.
small ones, and they do not. And actually, they're in a tank of frogs, so I put them in there, and they basically all just like scatter, like hiding for their lives, knowing that there's frogs everywhere. Because the frogs immediately will hop over and eat like 2 or 3 crickets each frog, and there's 11 frogs in there right now.
Yeah, and crickets never escape. Never escape the enclosures.
I did have to put a special top on it to make sure they don't escape.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I bought the first round of crickets I bought was like, nah, I'm an online guy. I do everything digital. I'll just buy the crickets online. Got online, went to Josh's Frogs. I didn't know, wasn't thinking frog size or cricket sizes. These are pretty small frogs. I mean, they just turned from tadpoles into frogs. They're like that long. They're super cute. But anyway, so I'm like, well, these obviously need small crickets. Small crickets are like so incredibly small. They're like grains of sand that move. But I bought like 500 of them thinking that'd last them their lifetime. But no, 500 was like, I think it just fell through the cracks into the dirt and vanished. I know, great story, huh? But anyways, the crickets did eat some of those, I think. And thank you very much. Oh, you guys are behind again. Oh, there's Vegas BLT. Nice to see you watching Vegas BLT. This Luxia, thank you for the follow. Hollyhock, thank you for the resub. Lol Zythe. Lol Zythe. I'm not sure. Anyways, thank you for the follow. And John Marcus, thank you for the bits. Hugs back there, Vegas BLT. do.
2 minutes.
All right. I'm getting the QA client
Oh,
up
1
so we
minute.
play on that.
Are you all patched up with QA?
Yeah, I
Maybe
was. I was patched up before we got started because I tested it earlier today. I clicked the non-GM version, which I did not have patched up. See, the people
So
at
we're
home
gonna
don't.
see some Bard stuff,
We'll see a little bit of Bard stuff.
and you'll be able to talk about Bard stuff.
They already have a GM.
Jackrabbit.
That's because I logged in. Apparently, this GM character was. Oh, I know what that was. To test the server, there's so many things you guys don't even know of hoops we have to jump through to make things actually work. To test the QA or the GM server before I publish it, I have to be able to publish the server somewhere when there's major server changes. So I had to publish yesterday to test that. I had to publish the live server over to QA. Then I had to take the live GM client and point that at the QA server. So I was still pointing at the QA, so I was logged into QA, but on a client that did not have Bard stuff. So I'm glad
All
you're
right,
here,
it's 4
Star.
o'clock. The live stream officially starts.
All right, well, you're here. Do it.
Oh, I get to do it?
Yeah.
Well, welcome everyone to our weekly live stream for Shroud of the Avatar. I'm Starlong, also known as Dark Star, and I have 3 other people with me, so please introduce yourselves. Starting with Ravelox.
Oh, greetings. I am Ravelox, working with the group to try to make the game better. Floating around doing various things, and I don't know, I just happened to be here when they turned on the stream. I don't even know where I am.
You're too modest. Elgarian.
Elgarian, community manager for Shroud of the Avatar. Good to see you guys.
And both of you have been doing an amazing job.
I keep telling them that.
Thank you. Just incredible. as many of you know, I have been stepping away a little bit, taking care of some other projects, which there's 4 other things I've been working on, 2 of which I'm going to show off today, give a little sneak peek. It's been, I've only been comfortable being able to do that because you 2 gentlemen have been stepping up and taking care of a bunch of the stuff that I was doing. So thank you.
Welcome,
And
sir.
one more person here with us today,
Chris Spears,
Atos.
also known as Atos in Game. Do lots of stuff on the project. Don't really have a title. Probably should have a title.
Well, CTO would be one. President of Catnip Game, probably another one.
IT manager.
Yeah.
Our servers, as soon as you stepped away, Star, all of our servers caught fire and burned to the ground. So I got to replace some of those things.
Yeah, I heard like basically everything that runs everything, Jira and
Yeah. I referred to it as the basket of eggs. As long as the basket of eggs doesn't break, we're all good. And the whole basket broke, both halves of the basket of eggs. But anyways, we got newer equipment in there that's 6 or 7 years newer and faster and everything, and it's awesome. And I haven't had to think about it since, and the backups all work, and it's fabulous. Fabulous! Except for our email server that's still a burning heap of trash that's probably 11 years old and should die. I can't believe it's still running, but it's still running. Knock on wood. If it dies,
It's fine.
we're just gonna
There's nothing wrong with it.
we're just gonna switch to like Gmail or something like that if it dies, because that thing is a nightmare. But anyways, I'm gonna have to shut my door. Hold on.
And we'll also be giving away prizes as usual. And what's the secret phrase, Elgarian?
Love makes the world go round. We're giving away a Cordovan lute. I guess we'll do this 2 times for an hour stream. So Cordovan lute, an Umber ornate accordion, ornate backpack, Adobe stables, and a Lich statue.
And how many ways are there to win these prizes?
2.
2.
That's right. Great answer, everyone. You can either make a purchase from the web store, buy some crowns perhaps, or you can get inside the game and type a not so secret phrase we just gave you, love makes the world go round, in chat, because no purchase required, because that is the law.
See, I tried to pull those same things. I would occasionally try to do those on the streams about you, but just wasn't the same.
Well, you know, it wouldn't be the same because you're not me. So, but you conveyed the intent. I'm sure. I'm sure it was very good.
All right.
All right. So, today we've got a few things to talk about. I think people are very, very excited
To see the star stuff?
Got a whole what?
To see the star stuff?
No. They're excited because there's a whole new skill tree coming in the game, right?
Yes. So I don't know if people know how this is something that should have been about a week's worth of work, but everything kept catching fire, and then I left it in a half-finished state, and I came back and I basically restarted it, and then I got it mostly done. And then we had a Perforce outage, and I lost some work, not because of the Perforce outage, but because I was scrambling trying to get everything put back and Perforce put back in order, which is our revision control software. Anyways, the 3rd time it did not burn down and sink into the swamp, and it stayed up. Although it's been down to the wire. I've got Snugs testing it, though. He says that he likes where it's going and the feeling of it. Are we talking bards first, or are we talking bards later?
Let's talk about bards first,
Okay.
and we can do my sneak peeks of the projects I've been working on at the end.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to move off screen so I can blow my nose. For those who, that's the other thing is pretty much for the last, basically since the start of the year, allergies here have been insane. Mute. No, I can't mute. Allergies have been insane for both me and Travis. We've discovered, I think it's oak that we're both allergic to, and oak has been off the chart. But anyways, this is something we've been talking about for at least a little while. I think I started talking about maybe in December of last year, and happy to finally get it out there. It is an entirely new skill tree that will be blocked by my picture unless I move it. Let's see if I can get it there. This is on QA now. You can go test. Again, it's still very rough. It'll be better in tomorrow's build. It'll be mostly finished by Monday. Anyways, I present to you the current bard tree. You will have to work hard and long to level these up. I will not. I will type a command. Oh,
Hacksaws, cheater.
there we go. And now I am a master bard. So anyways, so this is skill tree. It'll probably, for R75, you can expect lots and lots of, thank you very much, Ragnar Lodbrok. But for R75, I'm going to have it set to 100% return experience on Untrain, because there's going to be lots and lots of balance tweaks going into it for this release and probably some of the next release. But once it's done, and I feel pretty good about it. It'll probably take about one release, maybe two releases. I'll turn that off. But you'll be able to get 100% back of anything you put into it. There's a couple skills that are not on here because I had them marked as not completed yet, but I'll try and get those for Monday as well. One of them is a group AE magic resistance buff. It's basically all resistance. It's a defense spell. But just to go over the tree, we have, and I've talked a little bit about these, and this is something you'll see about these, is these behave very differently than other trees. That's something I wanted to make sure we did with it, is I didn't want to feel like this was just like, hey, it's a magic tree that he put down in the strategy section or something.
Our video windows are overlapping. When you're doing the hover over,
Oh, okay.
we can't see what they say because our video windows are overlapping.
All right, well, I can get over here now.
The hover over.
There we go. But anyways, Melody of Mending.
Yeah, that's better. Yeah, perfect.
So I want to make sure it felt very different from other magic trees. It wasn't just magic. And it's tough coming up with, you kind of have like a rhythm of here's how things work and here's what you look for and here's what players look for in it. So this is one I wanted to make a little bit different. So many of the skill trees, kind of the thing you want to do is you want to be like in a rapid fire, bam, 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 firing stuff off. And it's all about how quickly you can get things casting off, the deck design, all that. This is very different in that the spells in it all take a significant amount of time. These songs in it all take a significant amount of time to cast. The idea is that you will be casting a lot. And again, that's one thing that will be coming up here for Monday. Right now it doesn't have that. But if you have an instrument out, it'll swap you to an instrument while you're casting these. That'll be, hopefully I'll have that in for the Monday build. Right now it's not in there. The other thing that will be true is if you keep your instrument out, you're doing a play, the skills will be the power that you see in here. If you don't have your instrument out while you're using the skills, you can continue to use bard skills because they do have their own cost, which is basically they take forever to cast. So your casting time is the cost of the spell. But they will be significantly less effective if you do not keep an instrument out. I had people tell me that how does that work, which the obvious answer is, well, obviously you're singing, which is why it's so bad, because I modeled it on me. But anyways, to give you an idea, the way this works is if you are a high skill, the casting time is kind of the limiting factor for these. So just give you an idea, here's a single cast of a song. Now this is something, again, you can, while you're doing this, that's all you're doing. You're not able to use any other spells, any other things. But this is also part of the limiting part of it is the spells, the songs in it are extremely powerful. But if you're doing the songs, that's all you're going to be doing is basically being, you can, if you're, what I just set myself to, you'll be able to keep up 3 songs at a time. If you're at 100, if you're kind of a newbie, you'll be able to keep 2 up. And if you are a specialized bard, you'll be able to keep 4 up. And that's all controlled just by the two things. One is the duration of the songs, and then the other is how quickly you can cast them. There's ways you can lower the total casting time, and then there's ways you can increase the duration of them. These are all, the other thing that's key with these is they all have the exact same range. We will have VFX. We've got VFX for some of them. They just haven't been attached. Damon is working on that probably right now. But the range for them is all in the, for a newbie Bard, it's 5. When you get up to like this level, it will be more in the, where is it? Resounding reach. So it'll be more like 7.5 or 8, depending on your level. And that's intentional. All the VFX are going to show the approximate range, so you have a good idea. But that's so you know what the range of your Bard is. So that's one thing you're going to have to realize is there's no long range stuff. There's no way to cast to that guy over there. You can't like select a guy and cast it. It is all AE based, and it is all fairly close in range based as well. So again, most of the effects in this are very powerful, but it's something that I don't see it being used much as a solo type thing. You could use it, but it'll be more like you cast a couple songs before you charge into battle, and they'll last for the first 20 or 30 seconds of battle, and then you move to the next guy. Cast another song and move to the next guy. There's a couple of attack spells in there. There's 2 in there. One is the atonal area, which I actually threatened to call this as Atos' atonal area. But I decided I haven't really put myself in the game anywhere, so I left it off and just left it atonal area. But that's basically one that as long as you're casting it, it's doing damage to things around you. And it does a pretty significant amount of damage. The other one that is another one where I'm trying to make it feel very different from other stuff, is the Concussive Canticle. So this is one, most of them don't gain a benefit from charging, and that's largely because you don't want to charge them. Did you see how long it took to cast? Can you imagine charging that crap up? Well, this one you actually can charge up. And this one, the other thing you'll notice on these guys is focus use. None of them use focus hardly at all. I think they're all 0 focus, except this one, which lists 37 focus. But actually what this one is, and I need to go update the description on it now that I actually got it working. I didn't know if I'd be able to get this working. This is what it is, again, a very unique Bard thing, which is you can charge it. Every tick that you charge it up, it consumes 10% more of your focus when you execute it. So you can see it's charging up right now super fast, right? And again, there's going to be some stuff that'll speed up how quick it charges. All these spells cast, because that's just the casting time of the spell. Now what is different about this one is when you let it go, you'll see that it erupts with a powerful noise. Let's see if I can find some creature and get near them. Hey guys! You guys want to fight? Yeah, cool. You want to fight? And so basically, not sure if you saw that, but what this does, and there's a couple things that you need to see. Oh, I'm in God mode. You won't be able to see it go down. So what that does, though, again, is a Bard, you don't really care that much about focus. You're more about just singing your songs. You're going to have probably 2 different spells that will consume focus. But that one is, if you charge it up 5 times, it will consume 50% of your mana or your focus when it goes off, and it does damage that is proportional to the focus used. It'll be about, it depends on, again, lots of things involved, but about 70% of the focus. So if you're one of these crazy guys that has like 1,000 focus and you use 50% of it, it's going to do, in a single shot, big AE blast, 400 points instant to everybody. Which again, depending on how you play, you might be able to not really be the serious Bard and make that how you start, running into a battle, as you run in and drop a, 500, 600 point AE on everybody there, which can go a little bit higher if you are specialized, of course. And Roxafeller, if you want to start off the battles, someone just mentioned there's people who have 2,000 focus, and if they wanted to start off the battle by doing a full 6 charge, expending 1,200 focus right off the bat, and running in to hit a group for upwards of 1,000 points of damage, then that is something you could do. Again, in terms of PvP is the place where I would normally worry about a hit that is that much damage. But this is also something that you saw how long that took. Like, even if you're using artifacts, the instrument artifacts will actually have bonuses, give some bonuses to some of these stats, so that they'll actually make some of these cast faster. That's one of the things that they're going to be doing. But you can see, this is not something you're going to sneak up on somebody with. So that would be like maybe, but then even after you get to the point where you're like, I'm ready to go now, like then you got to like stay alive. You could fight at this point. But then when it finally does go off, except you don't see it because we don't have VFX yet. Damon actually has done most of the VFX. He was waiting for me to get the final stuff out so he can see what the tree looked like and go and balance it. But anyways, can you do it while sneaking? No, it breaks all sneaking. And again, remember, while you're casting this, there's actually going to be audio that will go with it. So if you're thinking you're going to sneak up on somebody while you're doing audio for like 30 seconds of charging up so that you can blast somebody with PvP, there's also a new damage type that goes with this, which is bards don't want to be stealthy. That's the opposite of a bard. There's a new damage type in here, which is sound. And there may be things that come up that give sound resistance. Right now, there's nothing that gives sound resistance. I may go and add a little bit of sound resistance to some of these specific helmet types.
Is there going to be any incorporation of use of sheet music into the system?
So that's one of the things I'm working on now. Now that I basically got most things out there. Again, there's a couple skills songs that are not on here yet. There's I mentioned the Resistance one. I forget what the other one is. But kind of just go down the quick run. There's a Chant of Charming. That's one of the ones I'm working on the effect for it. See, that may, again, that's why I have this at 100% unlearned, because that one may go poof at some point and vanish. If I can't get it to work. Actually, that'll be one that'll be marked as not trainable yet. But Mesmerizing Melody, as you might guess, is a Mez spell. Again, the Melody of Heal or Mending is a AE heal spell that's a pretty powerful heal spell. The Anthem of Alacrity, as you would expect. This is one that actually, if you guys recall, there's two types of movement buffs. One is a move rate, and one is a move speed. The move speed is what everything adds. So you get like +1, and that's like meters per second from things. There was a time long ago when we gave both move rate and move speed. We pulled every move rate thing off. This has something unique in that this actually gives the move rate. So rather than being a +1 meter per second, this is a multiplier. So that's, again, this is trying to make the bards feel, some of the stuff in them feel exclusive. And that you can have a party and you can have like all the speed, everything you got going on there. But if you have a bard, you're still going to be 25% faster than that.
Will you be able to use any instrument, or are these things going to be tied to specific instruments?
So that's one of the things I'm going to be working on during R75 is tuning some of this stuff. Again, I want to get the base boilerplate stuff out. There is going to be the effect of having an instrument, any instrument, will be in there for the Monday build. The tuning it for certain types of instruments. I actually started doing some of that stuff and trying to go over the instruments we had already in the game. And I didn't want to, it's tough because I agree it should be like some instruments should be better. Like, guess what? I'd like maybe a harp or a flute should be better at mesmerizing people. But as soon as I did that, then I felt like I might be picking on some people who, I didn't want to pick on them. So I'll probably make, not by instrument type, but then just have some instrument stuff on there. Because the other part is we'd like to get this into crafting buffs so that there's some crafting buffs for this as well. I think crafting stuff starts in Q2, so maybe we can tackle some of that stuff during Q2. But anyways, so this brings something unique to the party. I don't see this being something where you're going to have a party with like 5 bards in it or something like that. This is going to be one where you can't play. And again, I'm trying to make sure, I know there's people out there who want to use this for pets, and this works really well for pets. If you're like a taming guy, this is great because although I already know I forgot to set some of these to affect your pet. All these things are kind of like you stand back and you're doing stuff that are really powerful buff type things but you're not going to be able to do much fighting. You're spending all your time singing songs. But if you have a pet there, then that's pretty much it's all buffing your pet. It's all doing stuff for the pets. The other thing is I will probably make it add in some stuff so some of these give extra buffs to pets, just because, as I have mentioned, this is something I want to make sure there's synergy between the bard and taming guys down here as the two oddball guys. Let's see. Any questions? You guys were watching the questions, right? I think I do have the question bot up. I can go look at that stuff. But again, each one of these spells will be tuned significantly over time. The casting times will be tuned. Again, that's why I'm leaving everything at 100%. You can play with it during R75. I think there'll be a lot of fun with it. Different play style that is extreme. I think it'll be desirable in parties as having someone who can play the part of the bard if he wants to. And just like anything else, this will probably be one where you set up a deck. I've got my bard deck. Do we have a bard? No. Well, I'm going to be the bard then. And people will, do that. Because for a party, I believe some of the unique stuff that they get will be desirable. So let's see questions. Oh, is it prize time? Is it the prizing? It's good to have you back, Star, to remind me about prizes.
Just yell about prizes.
Yell about prizes. Yeah. We had a few streams where we'd do them it'd be 6 or 4:30 or whatever, and be like, oh crap, we forgot the prizes. Do 2 in a row.
Let's not forget that this is live on QA now. QA is now up 24/7. So come on down, break the software, or show Chris how great of a programmer he is, and show that there is nothing wrong with the software. You choose.
It's not a bug; it's a feature.
And I'm trying to do patch notes for QA when I put them up there, and I actually set up a little script and ran it this morning. Then I remembered the last live build we did pretty much included everything. It was everything from, it's just we turned off a few things. So there wasn't that much new in the QA build other tn bards when I looked at it. So there's some of that stuff. There's a lot of stuff that went in there, but it's stuff that'll be released, as login rewards or whatever.
We have a bunch of people on QA right now testing this stuff.
Really, that's exciting. And again, Tactics Master is where you get them. So the other big thing is, before it goes live next week, will be me adding a Bard Master who can actually teach this stuff. I think I'm sticking with my original plan, which was the Bard Master is going to live in episode 2 somewhere. Again, trying to make this an episode 2 thing. I think most of our series players already have episode 2, so I don't think it'll be a big deal. And I'll push you guys to get over there to go check out the episode 2 stuff. We are going to be talking about the episode 2 pot picking stuff, right? That's the other thing on our agenda.
But first, let me do prizes.
Okay. Is it ready?
I see it on the thing.
Well, then do it. No, there may be a prize swap out that I didn't do. So look back up.
I posted it. So
yeah, it's the same.
Okay.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Okay.
Denarian Krenchesbon. I honestly think the players troll us with difficult to pronounce names for these prizes. I think that's their plan. Wins the Cordovan loot. Scooby-Doo wins an Umber Ornate Accordion. Great name, by the way. That was my favorite cartoon as a child, and my very first dog as an adult was named Scooby-Doo. So congratulations. Idioigmotanium, it's like unobtainium, wins the Ornate Backpack. And Engineer wins the Adobe Stables. And Andrew Silverstone wins the Lich Statue. So really, it's only the first one, Denarion Krenchesbon, who had the unpronounceable name. Everyone else had a pronounceable name, so...
and we've been mispronouncing their name for years.
Only one name troll, so I actually like the Denarion Cringe-Shazban. I kind of like to say it now. So I apologize for calling your name Troy. I actually like the name. It's a great name. Fantastic name. I'm going to name my 10th born child that name. So as soon as my 10th born child is born, it'll be forever named Denarion Cringe-Shazban.
Hold on, I'm trying to see this.
Don't lawyer me, bro.
We have
my 10th born child is named.
we have people to thank here. We have Lonigan to thank for follow. Don Bilbo 1111 resub. Soda Tioral, thank you for the resub. Ragnar Lodbrock, thank you for the 100 bits, and Dislucia, thank you for the raid. So that's kind of the short part on bards. Again, there's a couple skills that I have disabled, so they're not showing up in the tree. Those will be in there. There's also there's more icons going right now. Damon is working on those guys, so we will probably have those in time for the release next Thursday. The VFX will probably have most of them in there. We'll see, and I'll definitely have all my stuff done.
That's super exciting, and to think this all started with an April Fool's with Cowbell and the Reaper.
Oh, I gotta add stats to the
Right.
Cowbell to make it so like it's one of the more powerful bard items.
Well, it's got to be the most powerful bard item, right? I mean, and the Reapers have to have something to do with bard skills, right? I mean, like
Summon chance to summon the Reaper.
like Reapers really hate bards. Like they aggro. Like Reapers aggro on bards, like because they really hate bards. Clang, 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 clang. Yes, Elwyn Moon has it. Clang, 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 clang.
Wait, don't attack it, Zolivar. Zolivar, don't kill it. Hold on,
Don't kill it. Why not?
because I'm doing a thing.
Erupts with a powerful note.
Oh, it didn't quite kill it. Take that.
So wait, you were going to talk about the episode 2 player on town selection sequence, I think was what you were alluding to.
Yes, we should turn that over to our amazing, many times said amazing community manager. Right, kind of right in there. Right there, that guy.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah. Yeah, so we made an announcement about it, right?
Yeah, and I just posted it in chat there for people to click into. And basically what it is it's just a layout of the concept that we're going through the voucher purchase sequence as the methodology. We're splitting everything into brackets that'll account for about 20 towns per bracket, about 15% of the list, because we got about 130 5 or 6 towns to push over right now. Some new, some moving. Let me get over there myself. There we go. And so we got brackets going anywhere from February 29th to March 3rd. They're all 3 days each. Coming all the way over down to the 7th bracket, which is March 18th to March 21st. I got instructions on how you tell where you fall on the list. There's a spreadsheet you can look at that you use your unique identifier, which is the purchase timestamp, to determine where you fall and which bracket you fall in. I got an example of how you submit your request, and then there's 3 pictures of the 3 islands. Pretty soon, in a matter of a day or two, hopefully, we're gonna have those all labeled out with numbers 001 to 150. And those will be the locations you get to pick from as you go through the brackets.
Oh, these birds are so beautiful. What beautiful, beautiful birds.
They're pink flamingos.
If you guys got any questions about it, just feel free to answer on that thread that I linked with your questions. You can message me as well, but it sometimes helps if you ask your question publicly, so when it's answered publicly, everyone kind of can see the answer.
And I'll share the current questions we have in there. John Marcus asked the question that I asked you guys that I knew people would ask. which is this a reservation only? Do we get to decide when to relocate? Which the answer to that is you don't have to relocate now, but you can't reserve a spot now and not move. It's you can move later, but you can't move to that spot. You can't basically say, I'm going to camp that spot and I'm going to hold this spot here and that spot. If you decide not to move, you go to the end of the list for the picking. Not the end of the list, but you go to the next list. So you don't have to move. It's not like you lose it. You just might lose your cool spot that you had picked out. So.
And I'll add that into the guidance. I don't think we have that in there.
Okay.
Yeah, and the new content looks amazing. Like, it's very exciting. So.
The other thing we will have before this goes live next Thursday, which the picking doesn't start until after that, but the other thing we'll have marked out placeholders for where known NPC scenes are going. We've already got probably a dozen of those, which will probably influence some people's choices. For instance, I know there's at least 3 mine type scenes on the list already that are going to be done. We got some collision problems there. Let me in. But anyways, there'll be at least 3 mine scenes on the list that I'm sure people want to park their pot by as popular mine scenes. So.
Got a heavy typer.
Yep. It's that's one of those funny stories that we have as we do our lunch meetings, team meetings. We go and have breakfast tacos someplace, and of course someone doesn't drive 1,000 miles to come to our lunch meetings, so he's on a iPad or an Android tablet or whatever, and we can see him, and occasionally he'll talk, and we can barely hear him talk, but we can always hear him type. We can hear him type. We just can't understand anything he says when he tries to talk. So it's kind of weird like that. But anyways, yeah, start looking, checking out spots, scoping out spots for where you want to be, and we'll get them marked up. And again, there's lots of big open spaces here that do not currently have pot placeholders in them. So.
And we should mention that there are a few left on the store, but not that many.
There are a few left on the store. I don't even remember how many.
20.
But we were talking in terms of size. We were looking at the scale of things, and it's not as big as Novia, but it is much larger than Lost Vale, Hidden Vale. I always do it. Hidden Vale. It's much larger than Hidden Vale, but each one of these little islands is not quite as big as Hidden Vale. But they're pretty close to each one of these little islands being as big as Hidden Vale. If you came on this a while back, there weren't boats interconnecting these things. Now there's boats that are connecting the different islands, so you can actually get island. That may not stay that way forever. It may be, we may be changing up a few things, so. Oh, geysers. I think, were these pink earlier?
No, those were okay.
Okay, I think last time I saw that there was either nothing coming out of them or they looked weird.
The waterfalls were pink.
The waterfalls is what were pink.
Right.
Those are fixed already. No more pink waterfalls.
Yeah, they're fixed. I think the birds are the only thing now that are giving us some trouble.
Very cool.
I think that's one we haven't been over to.
That was the first. That was the first part we showed. The snake, the head of the snake.
GM cheat.
The serpent.
GM cheat stuck me.
That's what you get for being a hacksaw cheater.
There we go. Much better. Yeah, that's the other thing we already saw was the coastline. We have to go and do some custom collision for the coastline, so that's on the short list of things to do. There's collision there to keep you from going too far in, but it's not very good, honestly. I think I mentioned this, it might have been on one of my streams, but for Novia, we tried to, we have a underlying hex grid, and we tried to make sure everything in Novia matched up exactly to that hex grid. Like every road is exactly on the hex grid, and rivers are exactly on the hex grid. Hey, thank you very much, Lord Joliver. A new sub, hey, thanks. And thank you, Pawn and Vulcan Jedi. But for this one, we wanted to make it feel more organic. And the other things, we wanted to have more control over some of the scale stuff going on. So this one, you'll see that like the roads don't exactly match up on the hexes, but they're pretty close. And that's one of the things that will come up with some of the pots as people pick pots, is you may like pick a spot for your pot and you may see it shift. You know, it's not going to shift a ton, but like maybe half, you know, from there to there. If you see that city there, it may shift a little bit, and that will probably be us taking that pot and putting it more in the middle of the hex. So anyways, just be ready for that. And yes, and we're where some of the wacky collision stuff, especially along the shoreline, as you see, like here, yeah. And that's because I did the collision for it, but I just did it using the hexes, which has some problems to it in terms of resolution. So, anyways, that's the quick rundown there. Again, I've got a ton of questions we can go over here, but I want to make sure we leave plenty of time for Star. So maybe we show the Star stuff and we give Star the spotlight here.
Sure. So lots of folks have been wondering, oh my God, where's Stars? And so there were a few opportunities that presented themselves last several months ago, and they were time constrained, and so I could not pass them up. And there were 4 of them actually. So, and because they were all very exciting, and because I'm insane, I could not say no to any of them. And so I agreed to do all 4 of them. And 2 of them we are giving sneak peeks to today. One of them will go live on Steam on the 5th of March. The store, its store page went live yesterday. And the other one, we went live with our Instagram and website yesterday, and we will be doing sneak peeks during South by Southwest, which is in a few weeks. So I think that Chris has a couple of videos. So maybe we start with Dragon Fight. So this project was, so the idea was, could we, I wanted to learn about virtual reality and like how to make a virtual reality game. And so it was, so some of you might know that I do tech consulting, and so and sometimes our clients ask us to do virtual reality work, and so this stemmed from some work we were trying to learn about physics and things like that. And so we took some assets from, you might recognize some of these assets. You can press play because there's no sound on this. Okay. And we took some assets, you might recognize some of the assets, like that sword, for instance, and the shield and the gauntlets. And we built a really just short, I mean, it's really just a couple of minutes of gameplay. And the idea was, what would it feel like to just take the kind of penultimate scene in any kind of fantasy movie, book, video game, which is the fight with the dragon, and turn it into a really kind of compelling virtual reality experience. And that's what it is, and that's why it's called Dragon Fight VR, because that's literally what it is. It's just a dragon fight. There's no levels, there's no score. It's just you fighting a dragon with a sword and a shield. So you, and it's all physical combat with you and the dragon, and you have to use your shield to protect you from its attacks, biting and flames and tail swipe. And if you don't put up your shield, it pretty much roasts you and kills you in a few hits, and then the whole thing cycles through again. And this is going to be a free little demo kind of proof of concept experience that you can go and play with on Steam. So, and it's a fairly small download, so it's quick to download, quick to play. It's just a few minutes of gameplay, and then it just cycles through. And we're just gonna, we just made it again. It just started out as an internal experiment to see what we could do, and it's constrained to you can walk around, but we didn't want to have like teleporting or any of that stuff. It's just you can walk around like you're like basically on a drawbridge inside a castle courtyard, and so you can walk around a little bit on the bridge, but you can't really. There's no real area to explore or anything like that. It's really just meant to be you fighting the dragon. So that was one thing I did over the last few months. So check it out. Again, you can go to the Steam page right now that was linked in the weekly update, and put it on your wish list, and then it'll go live. The release date says the 24th, but I think Steam, the last update they gave me is that it won't go live till March 5th because of approvals and things like that. So, but check it out, and that was fun. And so then the other thing we did, and go ahead and is completely different. So check this out.
I just want to say that when I watched this, I told Star I broke my wrist just watching it.
Yeah. You press.
Oh, it's going.
I don't hear it now. Oh, it's because I haven't muted.
Oh, it's there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Okay, so funny story. I am walking my dog through my neighborhood, and maybe just play it again, but like have it on mute while I'm talking.
Okay.
Or maybe we could go to the website or something. But and I have this neighbor down the street from me who is like he's this artist and just kind of eccentric character, and I had met him before because I had seen one of his pieces on his porch, and so I kind of knew him. But I'm walking my dog, and he just like rolls past me on this surfboard, but on the street, and I'm like, "What the hell is that?" And he's like, "Oh, I made this. I'm trying to make this surfboard thing that you can ride on land." And I'm like, "Oh my God, that is like one of the coolest things I've ever seen. Like, where?" He's like, "Yeah, I need to raise some money, and like, I don't know, maybe I might do a crowdfunding thing." And I'm like, "Oh, well, I might know a thing or two about crowdfunding." And so I was like, I did this crowdfunding for this game, like we did pretty well, and so if you need help with that, let me know. He's like, "Oh, okay." A couple hours later, he like knocks on my door while I'm having dinner, and he's says, "Hey, I want you to run my company." And I'm like, "You barely know me, and but that's a really cool thing, and so I would love to help you out." And so what this is it's a so if you know what a one wheel is, so a one wheel is like an electric skateboard, but with just one wheel, and it self balances kind of like a Segway. And so what we have made is a mod, an accessory that sits on top of the one wheel and turns it into a full size surfboard that you can ride on land. And it's amazing. It literally feels like you're surfing, but you're on the street. And it takes about 20 minutes to get comfortable and riding on it. And you lean forward to go faster. You lean back to slow down or stop, or even go backwards. And that's the thing. So that's the other thing. And we're gonna have an event at South by Southwest. If anyone's in town, let me know. I'll get you an invite. And follow us on Instagram if you want to know more. And that's what we're doing. Yeah. Oh, and I wear wrist guards whenever I ride on it, for sure. And because it's But it's actually a lot safer than the one wheel because when the nose hits the ground, it just slides along. You can see that versus doing a faceplant. So it's a lot of fun. And right now we're in the kind of we've built out the prototype that we know how the chassis works. We have all that now, and we're just in the sort of like seeking out funding so we can get into production. We may do a Kickstarter. We're not sure. We may get angel investment. We're not sure. So yeah, so did the Dragonfight VR, made this electric surfboard, and 2 other things I can't talk about yet, but soon.
So I have a question, Star. This guy looks like he's going pretty fast. How fast does this one wheel thing go?
It can go 20 to 25 miles an hour.
Dang, that looks fun.
So, and the one wheel thing is less safe than this. So, like, you tip forward on that, and like it can flip you forward.
Yeah.
So, what percentage of people who ride this one wheel thing die? Is it like maybe 10, 12%?
No, that's not true. No one dies on a one wheel.
So what's the material made out of when the tip of the board hits the ground? Is it gonna?
So we use off the shelf grind rails like on a skateboard that just screw on the underside of the board, and so as they wear down, you just pop them off and screw on new ones.
Oh, cool! Awesome.
Yeah, and again, we're using just off the shelf grind rails from Dow Nomad. The website was done by a company here in town called Tiburon Transmedia. Yeah, so that was the first prototypes. It was just like wearing down the surface of the board, but then we were like, well, why don't, skateboarders have this problem, so why don't we just use the same thing they do, which they're called grind rails. And so
Right,
like when you see a skateboarder, when you see them like pop up and then like ride like the railing on like a stairwell or something like that, what they're actually riding on isn't the wood of the board. It's really there are these long plastic strips.
I see Devil Cult just mentioned he likes the motto "Surf anywhere, keep it weird." The "keep it weird" is absolutely an Austin thing. That's pretty much the Austin motto is "keep it weird." So
yeah, I see a question. Chris Pallid asked, "Can we make one that works on snow?" Probably won't work on snow, but the one wheel, which is what we're an accessory for, can go pretty much anywhere. I mean, it's made to go off road, and so this thing, we've ridden it like around a golf course, no problem.
how are the back brake on it? And I'm just asking because I know it's weird, but I live in a neighborhood with hills, which Texas doesn't have many of, but there's some big hills.
The one wheel comes with an app, and the app lets you set a bunch of settings. I think there's like 6 different settings for the one wheel, and one of them is hills, and so it changes the brake and acceleration curve.
I was just thinking about me trying to ride the one wheel thing and use an app at the same time.
No. You don't do it. You don't do that while you're riding it. You set it before you get on, and you can say I'm going to be riding on hills, and then that changes the acceleration and braking curve for the device.
Well, I gotta say, it looks pretty cool. The one thing to make it cooler, can you add like a little attachment so it can shoot sparks out when you do the nose down? Or maybe on the back?
Grind rails, those are a kind of grind rail you can buy, so that's already exists in the real world. So cool. Skateboarders already have, they actually have little bits of metal in them, the grind rails, because they're made for skateboarders who want that effect. And so we've already tested that out. And we're actually going to film some video of it. So, but yes, follow us on our Instagram, Terra Surfing, and you'll see all sorts of cool stuff coming up, including an awesome interview we did with Lord British, who was kind enough to come out. It was really funny. He came out to do that video, an interview, and ride the thing, and I actually hadn't ridden it yet before he came to ride it, and he was about to get on it. He's like, so how does it ride? And I'm like, I don't know. And he's like, what? You haven't ridden on it? He's like, get on this thing. And so that film of like me and him, of Richard and I riding together was actually my first time riding. So, so sign up and we'll announce when we're taking pre-orders, but not yet. We're still very early, so, but soon.
All right, very cool.
So thanks for giving me time to share the things I've been working on, and please play Dragonfight VR too when it goes live.
Let me share. Do we have a shared doc going right now? Let's see. I was just asking. I was going to share the questions. We don't have a ton of time here. I'll just do this version. Hold on.
I think Steven too had something to go over, right?
There we go.
Oh, it
You can
was
see that if you want to.
basically a little bit of expansion, I guess, on what I was saying before. That we are reworking the QA server, and it is now the player test environment because it is up 24/7. I am refreshing the database at least once every 2 weeks. So the live server, your progress on the live server will be copied over to QA and be kept current over there. In addition, Chris is in the process of getting some tweaks to the login rewards over there, right, Chris? So that way we could get the
Yes.
an increase in consistent photos and golds. That way you'll have enough to do anything you need to do. We are going to be, as Chris has already started, being more consistent with QA patch notes, and they'll be posted up in the testing area, so that way everybody will know what's actually live on the QA server that needs attention, as well as Rick and myself. Hopefully, I'm kind of conscripting Rick into this right now. And it's really your own fault, Rick, because you were out there giving out automatons before, that we will actually come live onto the server and have events on the QA server to help testing and hand out things that are needed to accomplish the tasks to make sure that Chris's code is perfect before it goes on live.
Always.
There you go.
Hey, let's go ahead and just keep that one centralized spot we picked to dump stuff into chests, the fishing expedition. It worked out really well for the automatons. We got a public access chest there already. We can just keep filling it with goodies. We just ask people only take one of each thing they need and not just clean it out.
Yep. Yeah, unless there's something that we're testing that involves a specific location as we move forward with episode 2, things like that, then that sounds like a fine idea.
By the way, Star, John Marcus has an amazing idea. This will not cause any problems. You should combine the two things and have the Surf Terra while you're doing VR.
Oh yeah, that won't be any problem at all.
No problem at all.
Oh yeah, and please feel free to share that video and share the stuff we post to Instagram and etc. Feel free.
Prizes.
To any all that. Oh, and prizes.
I did
Oh,
prizes.
Hey, one really quick question that's going to help the QA people this weekend. Where is the Bard trainer going to be?
I have not placed it. Oh, right now he is the Tactics Master. You can learn all the Bard stuff on Tactics Master. Where the actual Bard will be next week, I don't know for sure yet, because I'm actually working on one of the other things I had been talking about, which was taking a scene from that was a beautiful scene, but not used much because the content in it isn't very challenging. Taking that, dropping it in episode 2 to use it as my test bed for some of the variable difficulty stuff that I've been working on. So we can have basically a single scene that you can, when you enter it, you get to choose whether you go into it, easy mode, normal, or hard mode. So he may be at the start of that scene. So we'll see, though. I'll have that worked out probably by about Tuesday of next week. But
Gotcha.
he will be there somewhere on episode 2. We'll mark him on the map probably, since we're going to have that out and about. I clicked the prizes button. Why did the prizes? Oh, hold on.
That doesn't sound good.
Did it break?
Yes, it broke. Always breaks.
Wah, wah, wah. Sad trombone.
Hold on, I think I see what's wrong with it this time at least. You guys talk for a minute while I fix this crap.
Yeah, it looks like we already have
Yep,
some
there's what's
feedback
wrong
coming
with
in from the QA server for Bards. This is good.
Oh, cool. Got a question about the types of combos you expect to use for bards, Chris?
So yes, I actually do have a couple of combos that were started, but then I haven't put them live anywhere, just because Damon is already behind on VFX for the other stuff. But there will be some combos going live with them. The thing I'm trying to do though is trying to come up with a way to make it so when you're doing a combo, make it feel like, again, as usual, that it's powerful, but then I got to make it fit within this same framework of this is a really long cast time tree, and you're basically going to be casting all the time. But yeah, right now I'm focusing on making the tree that is in there fun, and seeing if, again, these are ideas that are just now going live to you guys, so I want feedback on stuff, and we're still at a point where I can completely change it pretty much all the way until I make it so you don't get 100% back on experience return. We can completely change things up. I like the spells and skill concepts that I've chosen for it so far, but again, I'm trying to make sure concepts don't always equal fun, even if it's a good concept. Hold on, I'm going to have to edit this prizing thing and assign it to a machine that knows how to do this stuff. Do. Agent.name.
So I saw someone post about there being something similar to our TerraSurf board on Shark Tank, and there are lots of electric skateboards, and there are also lots of electric surfboards for the water, and there on Shark Tank there was an electric skateboard, and there was also an electric surfboard for the water. However, as far as we can tell, there has yet to be an electric surfboard for the land. So, but if you find something different, I would love to see it, because we have yet to be able to find something that is of the same. But how many electric shark boards? Sean Butts asked. Yes, that is a great question, and they still haven't done one of my favorite stretch goal ideas, which was a pet flying shark, a pet flying baby shark to be precise. So.
All right, and since we're obviously not going to get to many of these questions here, did the prizes work this time?
Yes, I see them.
All right.
Here I go. All right. Kumash wins a Cardavon loot. Fetid Surdiddy wins an Umber Ornate Accordion. Sean Silverfoot wins an Ornate Backpack. Wenzel Lancermane wins the Adobe Stables. And Warlord Borat, very nice, wins a Lich Statue. All right, congratulations, winners. There were no hard to pronounce names in that final list. And our timing is impeccable because
Bam!
It is the end of the stream.
Pro streamers.
Pro streamers.
I see
Everything went perfectly. Not a bug, it's a feature.
And I see a lot of good questions on this list. I see a lot of good questions on this list that I would like to answer, so I guess this is what I'm going to be doing Monday. So consider my Monday stream dedicated to nothing but... Oh, wait. Monday, I'm actually doing the makeup stream with Fizzle. Not Zol anymore, now Fizzle. We've convinced him to change his name. But I'm doing the makeup stream with him. Maybe he'll give me a little time to answer questions on that. So I see a lot of really good questions on here, so...
Yeah, it's good stuff. All right. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, I almost forgot to mention, don't forget to come to the dance party tomorrow in Rinzai, 2 to 4. I'm DJing, and I've got a great playlist. Once again, I'm very excited about it. Got some cool new songs I discovered. It's going to be great. There's a post in... Oh, look, and Gary, on top of all these posts and links.
I know.
It's cool. It's like we have somebody whose like job is to do all this stuff. It's crazy. Yeah. So 2 to 4 tomorrow in Rinzai with me DJing. All right.
All right. Well, now we get to do the real test and ask if Elgarion's on top of it so much that he knows who we're rating.
Oh my gosh. Fail.
You're so close. You almost got it. That was almost like a perfect 10. You just took like one step back on the landing there.
Dang it.
All right. Remember to follow TerraSurf on Instagram. Play Dragonfight VR on Steam when it comes out. And if you're going to be in South by Southwest, let me know, and I'll get you an invite to our TerraSurf event.
We have got 7 people to pick from.
Whoa. Well, just tell me. You want me to roll a random number and then you can just tell me?
That'll work.
Let's see. The number is a 3.
A 3 would make it Vulcan Jedi.
Vulcan Jedi. All right. Raid Vulcan Jedi. All right, we are raiding Vulcan Jedi. Get ready to get over there. Make sure and follow him if you have not already followed him, and make his day. The streamers out there love it when you raid somebody. Oh, and it looks like he's watching the stream. Better get back over to your stream, buddy. But guys, again, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, all the stuff you saw today is live on QA. Expect lots of rapid changes on it. The Bard is coming in hot, as I sometimes say, which technically means buggy. It'll be much less buggy by Monday. I've already got people reporting bugs to me, and I will get them all fixed this weekend. But again, episode 2 Continents Live, make sure and go scout it out. I had somebody ask about, are there no NPC towns? There are not NPC towns on it right now. There will be NPC towns, but NPC towns in episode 2 will have limited to no player housing in them. As part of one of the things we learned from episode 1 is it is both bad, it causes lots of problems, and players do a much better job of running a town, honestly, than having an NPC town. So we've seen no shortage of people looking for people to join their town, so go find a good friend and join an NPC town. But we're rating now, whether you like it or not, so everybody else say bye. Quick, 5.
Bye now.
Bye.
4. Bye. And we raid